Maya, who loved unrevealing the mysteries of human body. One day, her professor introduced her to the world of histology, the study of body tissues. Imagine our body as a vast city, the professor said, with different neighborhoods and structures working together harmoniously. Maya was intrigued. The professor explained that just like a city has different districts, our body have four primary tissues: epithelial, connective, muscular, and nervous tissue. Epithelial tissues, the professor described, were like the protective walls and the covering of the city, shielding its inhabitants from harm. These tissues lined the digestive, respiratory tract and acting as a barrier against the outside world. Next one, the connective tissues. On the other hand, were the city's infrastructure, the roads, bridges, and the support systems that held everything together. Bones, cartilage, and even the blood vessels were the examples of connective tissues, providing structures and transportation throughout the body. The next one is muscular tissues, where the city's workforce responsible for movement and locomotion. Just as construction workers built and reshaped the city, the skeletal muscles attached to the bones allowed for movements, while the smooth muscles in organ facilitated essential functions like digestion and blood flow. Finally, the nervous system, where the city's communication network that transmitting the signals and coordinating activities. The brain, the spinal cord now work together like a sophisticated command center, ensuring that the body functioned seamlessly. So now you know what is histology and some basic steps. So let's move to question number 1. Which of the following is not primary tissue in the body? Option A, epithelial tissue. Option B, connective tissue. Option C, muscular tissue. Option D, vascular tissue. And the answer is option D, vascular tissue. Now let's move to question number 2. Which type is responsible for movement and locomotion? Option A, epithelial. Option B, connective. Option C, muscular. Option D, nervous tissue. And the answer is option C, muscular tissue. Now let's move to question number 3. Which type serves as protective covering or lining for organs and body surface? Option A, epithelial tissue. Option B, connective tissue. Option C, muscular tissue. Option D, nervous tissue. And the answer is option A, epithelial tissue. Now let's move to question number 4. Which of the following is an example of connective tissue? Option A, skeletal muscle. Option B, brain. Option C, cartilage. Option D, nerve. And the answer is option C, cartilage. Now let's move to question number 5. What type of epithelium is found in the alveoli of the lung? Option A, simple squamous. Option B, cuboidal. Option C, columnar. Option D, transitional. And the answer is option A, simple squamous. Now let's move to question number 6. Which connective tissue stores fat? Option A, areolar tissue. Option B, adipose tissue. Option C, reticular tissue. Option D, elastic tissue. And the answer is option B, adipose tissue. Now let's move to question number 7. Which type of muscle tissue is striated and voluntary? Option A, smooth muscle. Option B, skeletal muscle. Option C, cardiac muscle. Option D, elastic muscle. And the answer is option B, skeletal muscle. Now let's move to question number 8. What is the primary function of osteoblast? Option A, bone reabsorption. Option B, bone formation. Option C, cartilage maintenance. Option D, calcium storage. And the answer is option B, bone formation. Now let's move to question number 9. Which artery type has thickest tunea media? Option A, elastic artery. Option A, muscular artery. Option C, arteriole. Option D, vein. And the answer is option B, muscular artery. Now let's move to question number 10. The structural unit of compact bone is called option A, osteocyte. Option B, osteon. Option C, lamella. Option D, cannuculus. And the answer is option B, osteon. Now let's move to question number 11. Which cell produces myelin in the central nervous system? Option A, Schwann cell. Option B, astrocyte. Option C, oligodendrocyte. Option D, microglia. And the answer is option C, osteodendrocyte. Now let's move to question number 12. The dermis is primarily composed of Option A, simple epithelium. Option B, adipose tissue. Option C, dense irregular connective tissue. Option D, cartilage. And answer is option C, dense irregular connective tissue. Now let's move to question number 13. The lining of the blood vessel is formed by which type of epithelium? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, stratified squamous epithelium. Option C, cuboidal epithelium. Option D, transitional epithelium. And answer is option A, simple squamous epithelium. Now let's move to question number 14. Lymphoid tissue is primarily found in the option A, thymus. Option B, pancreas. Option C, kidney. Option D, lungs. And the answer is option A, thymus. Now let's move to question number 15. What process is nicknamed cell drinking? Option A, endocytosis. Option B, exocytosis. Option C, pinocytosis. Option D, phagocytosis. And answer is option C, pinocytosis. Now let's move to question number 16. Where is the site of protein synthesis? Option A, ribosome. Option B, peridosome. Option C, microfilaments. Option D, centriole. And the answer is option A, ribosome. Now let's move to question number 17. What type of tissue lines the bladder? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option C, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, transitional epithelium. And the answer is option D, transitional epithelium. Now let's move to question number 18. What type of tissue lines most ducts? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option C, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, stratified squamous epithelium. And the answer is option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Now let's move to question number 19. What type of epithelium lines the trachea? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option C, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, pseudo-stratified epithelium. And the answer is option D, pseudo-stratified epithelium. Now let's move to question number 20. What type of tissue lines the blood vessels? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option C, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, stratified squamous epithelium. And the answer is option A, simple squamous epithelium. Now let's move to question number 21. What type of epithelium is more than one layer thick? Option A, simple. Option B, stratified. Option C, squamous. Option D, cuboidal. And the answer is option B, stratified. Now let's move to question number 22. Which of the following is lined by mucosa? Option A, peritoneal cavity. Option B, pericardial cavity. Option C, pleural cavity. Option D, alimentary canal. And the answer is option D, alimentary canal. Now let's move to question number 23. What type of gland secrete its product directly into the bloodstream? Option A, endocrine. Option B, multicellular gland. Option C, exocrine. Option D, all of the above. And the answer is option A, endocrine. Now let's move to question number 24. What type of epithelium forms the epidermis? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option C, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, stratified squamous epithelium. And the answer is option D, stratified squamous epithelium. Now let's move to question number 25. What type of tissue lines most of the gastrointestinal tract? Option A, simple squamous epithelium. Option B, simple cuboidal epithelium. Option D, simple columnar epithelium. Option D, stratified squamous epithelium. And the answer is option C, simple columnar epithelium. So that's all for today. If you have any doubts, please do mention the